Penguin Random House Canada Audio presents Boy Wonders, a Memoir by Cathal Kelly, read for you by the author. To Margaret. Introduction. I was almost 9 years old when I began digging the hole. I picked a spot near the rear of our backyard in a flower bed hard up against the neighbor's chain-link fence. Since nothing grew there anyway, it seemed like a good spot for renovation. A good deal of my life up until that point had been spent obsessing about machines that excavated. Backhoes, tractors, snowplows, just about any sort of large truck thrilled me. The power of them, these tools of transformation. I also liked the idea that if anybody got in your way, you could just run them over. If you had a truck, you were free to do as you liked. The hole was an extension of this desire. I started it with an old metal Tonka toy that operated as a miniature gravel mover. That got me nowhere fast. Then I switched to one of my mother's garden tools. That was equally useless. Eventually, I found a shovel buried under a pile of junk in the garage and began making some serious progress. I can't say how many days I spent on the hole. It seems like dozens, but at that age, time accordions inward. A day is like a week like a month. I did spend a good long time on the hole, longer than I'd ever spent on any one project. It was tough going at first, but once through the toughened top layer, the earth got sandy. After a couple of days, I was planted inside the hole, up to my knees. Every so often, my younger brother Brendan would come out to inspect the work. He wanted very badly to participate, but this was my hole. After a short argument, Brendan wandered off to dig his own hole. Since digging a hole is a ridiculous thing to do, he soon lost interest. From then on, he settled on coming out into the backyard to annoy me for hours at a time by throwing a baseball against the back wall of the garage. The wall was wooden and the ball had no bounce. It would only drop to the ground directly in front of the garage. You'd have to run over and fetch it each time. It was an even stupider thing to do than digging a hole, though in retrospect, a telling insight into our brotherly relations. My mother showed no interest in the hole until the neighbors complained. God, how our neighbors suffered over the years. They worried that my hole would collapse a portion of their immaculately kept garden. It is a potent Irishism that no one should presume to tell you what you can or can't do on your own land. My mother was now suddenly pro-hole. I began buttressing my hole with boards I found in or stole from the laneway behind the garage. Everything a kid needed was in that laneway. Bricks, bottles, stones, all the detritus that can be used to build or destroy, the two polarities of the boyhood imagination. The biggest problem was what to do with all the excess dirt. I could dig for a while.